Good evening and welcome to Tuesday night on behalf of First Amendment Sports. I'm Ken Meringolo. Thank you for hanging out with us. He's Tim Strachan.
Oh man, it's great to be back on a Tuesday night to just kick it with all you guys on the board, on the listening, watching, and you too.
Yeah, man.
He's Kevin Ricca.
And I found out today we are all polyamorous, and we just showed that right there.
And I found out that we are sharing revenue with the artist known as E.O. Anderson. I was notified by YouTube. I was like, you know what? That's awesome.
I went down a deep hole this past week.
Okay, go on.
Let's start off with it.
I actually like 3 out of the many.
You got the three
songs
that you're going to put right up at the top.
That Dislocated Boner has on Spotify.
Yes.
And I mean, dude, I gave you a lot of time, and it was fun.
And also,
I highly recommend it.
So you went down a deep hole with a Dislocated Boner jam.
Yes,
I know.
I did.
And you sent it to me.
I did.
And I wasn't
it's true.
offended because it was tremendous.
Poo in my pants right now is hitting me hard because
It's tops of the charts.
I'm on day 2 of the pills, and there's been no poo.
Yeah.
But that song has been sort of like an anthem right now. But I feel like it's been like
no, EO,
helping me not poo my pants.
We insist on sharing revenue. Not only that, but that's we play that on Spotify.
This
So
is love. This
you're
is
getting
community love.
He's getting the dough for the Spotify play.
I love Poo My Pants,
and he's getting
man.
the
It's a
dough
great
for
song.
And we're also promoting. We're basically promoting.
It's awesome. So look, poo
Promoters.
happens, but it hasn't happened, and this is great.
It's a touching moment, our first anthem.
Ken Harris, Greg Martin, EO, of course. Welcome to Tuesday nights.
This is amazing.
Appreciate it if you guys, hit that old subscribe button if you haven't already. I think the era of asking for subscribers, asking for likes, and asking for notifications is over. I think for me. You know what? It's just like every time I watch a YouTube video now. I mean, obviously everyone's saying that, and you're supposed to say that, and we did forever. And now I'm like, you know what? I kind of don't want to say that anymore. I'm gonna be like, because it doesn't mean anything. Hit like, hit subscribe, notifications. It's like doom 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 on every YouTube video now. It's it's terrible.
If they like it.
I'm not gonna do it anymore.
Okay, that's good.
I think people just assume.
Always asked, I kind of felt weird when you did.
Yeah, well, I thought I was
not the first time you've done
like
things
the
that made
playbook.
me feel weird, but
Yeah,
That's like the most mainstream thing.
It was like the game plan. It was like set, hike.
Yeah,
Like everyone said that for a long time, but we
True.
fixed it. We fixed it.
it was also like more important when we were at 5.2, like 4 or 5.25K. But now that we're 5.27K, I feel like, you know what?
Moving on up.
We don't have to play by anyone else's rules anymore. 5.27K, it's a high water mark for us in the basement, and this basement's below grade already, so it's tough.
Well, obviously we hit that number. We now have an anthem.
And we have an anthem?
That's not by accident.
We're essentially sponsored by E.O. Anderson's musical talents.
By accident, I said.
That's
All
by
right,
accident.
that was terrible.
We do have, some Redskins Commanders news.
we do.
Yeah, why not? There always is. There's always. I saw a thing online today. This is like the random stream of consciousness. What's happening that
Be
you're
careful
hearing about?
on that online thing.
One of the random things I saw was Jaden Daniels getting up to 21.28 miles per hour on an end around for LSU. Now, you got a great block from a wide receiver.
Of course.
And he ran the sidelines, but that was like a higher, that's a faster speed, they said, than Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields got in the open field last year for the NFL, which, whatever, it's a reference point. But I love speed.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
It looks awesome, too.
Yeah, it kind of does.
No, we've seen it.
And
Listen,
Terry McLaurin will lay someone out on the outside for sure.
Come on. We're going to use every inch of this field, and Jaden Daniels is the reason why we made that decision. I mean, this is the air raid situation.
Yep.
They talk horizontal and vertical. Well, what more do you need? This guy has all of that in spades. So I can't wait. I'm starting to get super excited. We haven't really gotten into Jaden. We've kind of left, you know what I mean? There's been so much crap.
Yes.
We haven't just focused on the number one like we typically would in a different year when we didn't have.
Well, there's nothing to focus on, really. I mean, we see
I
bits
know.
and pieces. It's
The
like,
bullshit hype is what I mean.
It's
Yes.
all yeah.
Yep.
It is all BS, really, at this point.
We're not. It's the obsession. I mean, like from the second RG3 was drafted, it became an obsession. It wasn't healthy, and it wasn't. It was fun. I guess it was fun. It was fun. Not to mention then he won 7 straight at the end. That was super fun. But
Kirk got one of this.
Kirk did get one of those.
Yeah, Baltimore.
He sure did. Didn't he start against Cleveland?
Yeah.
So he finished
came
the Baltimore
in against
game.
Baltimore. That's when it all went down, and he beat Cleveland.
He beat
He
Cleveland.
went 1-0 that year.
So I'm just not going to get obsessed about it, this quarterback.
No.
It doesn't seem very healthy at this point. And plus, but I'm not setting the bar low. I'm not setting my expectations low. I do expect great things. I mean, he is the number 2 quarterback.
He's
He is
our guy.
the Heisman winner. He is very capable of being an explosive, flashy guy. And he's got a. We could talk a little bit about Cliff Kingsbury in a little bit. So there's no downside. I mean, there's no negativity or cynicism or skepticism at all. It's just it's not going to get nutty about it just quite
box
yet.
checking right now. We talked about it. Box checking. The one box that he checked right away was he absorbed this playbook early on in that camp. He came out and he was the leader. He was telling guys where to go. He was changing plays at the line of scrimmage and shuffling guys around. That was, to me, I'm like, okay, check that box. That's a big box.
Reading
Yeah.
every
He's
article
checked.
on every move that he's made
Yeah.
does nothing for you. What
Right.
only matters is the stuff you just mentioned and what are the other guys saying or what are they not saying? Are they saying anything?
Yep.
That's the only thing that really is important is how is it all fitting in and how are they all, I mean, you can tell when no one's saying anything,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Shh. Silence is deadly.
Yeah, and we have recent experience on that, obviously out wide, the wide receiver. But at the same time, again, I even think that like Josh Harris and Dan Quinn, like they're not packing pom poms to try to rile us up and cheer it. Like this isn't a they're not trying to blow our skirts up.
We know what this year is.
BS.
Right. It's going to be great watching us compete, but you can't ask 37 dudes to come together and form a unit, especially early in the year. Maybe mid-season, we'll see. But
Of all the sports we watch, except for putting basketball aside, because there's only 5 guys, you can really change things up big time quickly if you're able to change 3 or 4 of those guys. But in football, but there's also 82 games in basketball. In football, there's the other side of the coin is there's only 17 games.
That's what makes it a great game.
Yeah. So a team like Washington,
Everyone counts.
everyone counts, and a team like Washington every single year makes it to the playoffs. With the kind of like I'd say last year's version would easily be the Houston Texans.
of course, that's asking a lot, but of course.
That's right.
Of course it is. And what was their record at the end of the year? 10-7, 9-8? I mean, I'm just ballparking it here. But
Did they win the division? Or no, Jacksonville. No, Jacksonville got in on the last day.
that's right. I wouldn't have remembered that.
actually, no, I'm sorry, no.
It's way too recent. in
Jacksonville losing if
They
Jackson
didn't
would have
get
won.
in.
If Jacksonville would have
Jacksonville
won,
peed in their pants.
That's right. If they
Yes.
would have won the last game, they would have been in. They did not win, and Houston, but Houston might have already been. But either way, that's what you're hoping for if you're the Washington
Sure.
fan base.
Hell yes. And that's a huge amount of hope.
Competent, above average play from a rookie quarterback, wide receivers who haven't gotten 800 plus yards a season. Multiple of those guys going off, like your Tank Dells and your Nico Collins. They have a great squad, and I love D'Amico Ryans.
Everyone loves D'Amico Ryans.
Yes.
He's a badass.
He's somebody you want to do well. You want to root for him to do well. I love defensive-minded head coaches. I think we probably all agree there. It's just like the right
good
mindset.
Ones. Bad defensive-minded head coaches are horrible.
What's worse? The worst. So let's think of who's the worst offensive-minded head coach we've had. I'll throw Spurrier out there. Is there a worse offensive-minded head coach
He's got to be number one.
for us? I mean, someone tried to say
You
Jim
said he
Zorn.
murdered,
Was
so
Jim Zorn
he
worse
should
than
be-
him?
He should be on attempted murder charges.
He should be on attempted murder charges. I don't
How can
know.
you get worse than that?
I think Jim Zorn's better than Spurrier as an
Ooh.
offensive-minded head coach.
Shit, that is close.
But it's a tight run.
That's an awful race.
It's a stretch to call Jim Zorn an offensive-minded head coach as well.
He's not a defensive-minded head coach. I don't know
Very
what his
true.
mind.
Very true. It's a coin flip, and I'll give you the nod.
Jay Gruden was an
it's-
offensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, but you
He's
know what? I
he's better.
kind of listen. He was above average. Well,
You actually have to give the nod to Zorn because Spurrier is actually a funny dude.
I do love his
But
one line. I laugh
he had-
every year.
He sent everybody out. He had 5 guys, barely 5 guys in pass pro, and he didn't
rid of the
disguise
ball.
it.
He was
His
like,
whole thing, defensive coordinators in the
I
NFL
don't
were like,
understand how this chip block doesn't work in this league, sir.
on
Sir.
every single play, I'm only blocking him with 5.
Sir, you've seen those men with no shirt on.
I don't understand. Like, I feel like the Cochran firm is missing a huge opportunity here. Like, Patrick Ramsey somewhere, somehow, has got to be saying, like, they literally put a Vegas-sized
Have you
marquee
been physically
behind him.
molested by gigantic men from the NFL
Yes. You know, like,
on the playing field?
we're only leaving in 5 for pass pro, everybody, and we're gonna throw it on every single down. Do what you will with that information, defensive coordinators.
Danny, you get rid of it till you get hurt. And Shane, let it rip. The NFL to him was
so
like,
good.
just whoever's ready. Like, remember him with quarterback? He didn't give a shit. He'd throw 90
He did
people
that
in there.
he did that everywhere.
Everywhere,
He was
forever.
like, oh, Danny Orful, he's gonna work out. He's gonna be working.
I always wondered why
Johnson,
in
Rob
college
Johnson?
you'd go play for him.
Chase Matthews.
Because every day at practice had to be so effing entertaining. I mean,
So he was a great college player,
Heisman
yeah.
Trophy.
Heisman Trophy winning. He went back to the school, right,
Yep. Florida.
and became a great coach in college football. College football,
After he made his name at Duke.
sure. So everything I have.
One of the greatest coaching jobs he's ever pulled out
His
of his
name
ass.
as a coach at Duke.
Yeah.
Yes. I think all the way
won a
through.
title.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the way through. Yes. All the way through his entire career until he got to the pros, he was almost unassailable in the sense in like his legacy of greatness in the sport. I mean, he did.
Yeah.
And then he came here and to his. I mean, on one hand, you could be like, we all have a buddy at some point in some time. I know I do, who just like decided, you know what, I'm done with this job, and you know what, I'm just not going to go in tomorrow. Like I had a roommate who straight up.
I know a lot of guys.
Yes, I like my buddy Lav. He answered me the phone once, and he's like, "Will you talk to my manager and
Many
quit
of
this
them are
job for me?"
listening right now.
Yeah, yeah.
One of them sitting in this room.
Sitting in this room. I quit a job for my buddy.
treading very uncomfortable territory for me right
Yes. I'm just saying, Spurrier kind of went that way in the NFL. He was like, oh, God, this isn't working out. I'm not going to that job anymore. I'm just going to, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to go do this over here. He went Office Space style.
Two things. One,
Okay.
T, can you call Poho and act like my grandfather? Never mind.
Yes.
All right, actually, can you? Actually, I need you to do it right now.
Speaking of poo, this is how you guys used to get off. As you said, could I tell my boss that you shit your pants and I had to help you? And I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
I know, and I would come in smothered in Jello pudding.
Yes.
All right, I just wanted to say that.
And brownie crumbs everywhere.
course.
You're like, that's from yesterday. It's dried up and just.
Can I borrow $50 from anyone? Kind of day to day these days. But also, I just want to
but
say,
also-
long ago.
when
by the
Spurrier
way.
was playing Mississippi State, I believe, and you guys can correct me if you know better, but pregame, day before the game, final presser, and he was like, well, you know, I just want to send my sorrows out and accept my prayers to the community. I understand there's a fire in the library at Mississippi State, and 90 of those books were burnt, and the damned ashamed of it all was 10 of them hadn't been colored in yet. I mean, dude, every time I saw that clip year in, year out, it just made me laugh. Like, what a crazy son of a bitch.
I loved
That's a
him.
whole institution he just freaking completely
South
trolled.
Carolina, when he was at South Carolina, it was Clemson.
It was Clemson, South
Clemson.
Carolina, when he was at South Carolina?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
The rest
Steve
of that
Spurrier.
I thought it was
100%
Florida.
true,
I thought it was
and
Florida.
it's-
That's why I
it's
guessed Mississippi
hilarious.
State. When I saw it the first time,
hilarious.
I did a triple take.
villain.
I was like, he had planned that.
See,
Remember?
for that, you can't say he was the worst. So
No.
Zorn wins the worst.
Jordan, but okay, no.
Just
No.
because he's a
Gruden was better than Zorn, so I'm voting Zorn over Gruden. If
yeah.
Zorn is offensive minded, he's worse, is what I'm saying.
You're saying Gruden's worse?
No,
You're saying
Zorn
it's worse than
As
Gruden.
an offensive minded coach, he
Yes.
ran the swinging gate twice of a timeout that I was sitting in the Budweiser dream
That
seats.
was
I
special
was
teams.
30 yards away, and it's your favorite thing that you ever saw because you remembered it.
I was there
You're
too.
like, guess what? That timeout, and I was like, I was right there. I let Ken tell the whole story. I was Joe Simpson. I were in the dream seats. I was watching. They ran like a version of it, and it got like they were like timeout.
Yeah, timeout. And I looked over and I was like, oh my God, they're running this
And he
again.
was like, he waited however long the TV timeout, and he was like, run it again.
Run it again.
And I was like, they're going to do it again. It was the
gonna
same
do
formation,
it
same
again.
people.
Same
And they
everything.
did it.
Hunter the punter.
And we failed.
It's kind of not his fault though, because he was.
Well, when he went double
he only
burst to
got
Dan
the
Snyder
job
afterwards.
because they couldn't find anybody else to get it. He was.
Thank God he had a tie.
Thank God he got rid of the
failed
megaphone.
up.
I think Jim Zorn's a good man, and I think he's a good coach.
Sure.
But he was put into a terrible situation because of everything that was bad about the whole era that we just got rid of. I mean, he was a absolute like
Let me ask you
product
this
of
question.
it.
This is a
I'm putting a
serious
1 minute
question.
cap on any more former terrible
is a
head
serious
coach
question.
speak.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
freaking
I have
out
one
right
question
now.
for you.
Yes.
This will put it to bed. Which one would you rather go hang out with and talk?
Oh,
offense?
Spurrier.
Gruden sat Indian style with 3 hippies blatantly smoking J's outside of a bar.
Wait,
in
I thought it
Virginia.
I thought it was between
Spurrier and Zorn.
Well, of course I want to go hang out with
Okay,
Spurrier.
case
Yeah,
closed.
you got to hang out with Spurrier.
No, but
Next
Ken, you
issue.
had the horny for Zorny
I didn't.
shirt. and
No, I had what's the
horny for Zorny.
I didn't do horny for Zorny. I did in Zod We Trust, and but the Neil for
Zod?
Zorn. Neil for Zorn was mine. Yes,
Ew.
from Superman.
Ew.
Neil for Zorn. Ken Harris loves that reference. Greg Martin, by the way,
I'm picturing that dude with the beard and the crazy face.
I just want to throw out a little something about our board here. We
Just
have
picturing Ken kneeling in front of.
Neil for Zorn.
Horny
Neil
for
before
Zorny. Are you
Zorn.
horny for Zorny now?
I was never horny for Zorny. But listen, I mean, that's you know what? That's
Starting
the
to feel
whole.
sick.
That's the whole like reason why I don't have a Jaden Daniels jersey right now. I guarantee you I had an RG3 jersey by this point in time after he was drafted. It's the reason why I haven't heaped money on betting on my team, because I know for a fact in years that Dan Snyder was the owner and we went through this whole thing. I owe some to the jar. I did all that. I mean, that's why I think we're in such a healthy place. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of us. I'm proud of all of us because we
We're proud of you, Ken.
we were in it the whole way. We were always in it. Like even
the grossest time.
we could have platoon style, like Tom Berenson to Willem Dafoe. Like, that never happened with Dan Snyder, obviously. But we stayed in the fight the whole way. And now that we're on the outside of it, this was always the moment that I was waiting for. Only us and people who stayed in it.
Yeah.
Our fun enjoyment potential is so infinitely greater than people who checked out. I mean, no one here did. No one on our board did. But I'm just saying, we do talk about the Spurriers and the Zorns and the Schottenheimers and the whatever you want to, because we did go through
You
it.
got to know where you came from.
I got up for those things, and I'm excited for these guys for what we have going on right now. But I think it's like coming from a more seasoned kind of place.
We may have 5 more accomplished coaches as assistants on this staff than have been our previous head coaches. I mean, I'm sorry, but you're talking about a guy like Anthony Lynn. You're talking about Ken Norton Jr.
Yeah.
The up and coming, well, he got butted baby star, but Cliff Kingsbury and his whole,
Okay. So I'll let Kevin, you get to pick. What topic do you want to talk about first? We have
Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury or Cliff Kingsbury. So we're going to go Cliff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant out of the ones you sent. Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Cliff
Go ahead.
Kingsbury
Go ahead.
or-
Go ahead.
That was one.
That was one.
So
Can we get rid of the kicker segment real quick? Can we just get it in and get it out?
We
Just
just
the
did.
tip.
We just did.
Just the tip.
We
Right.
just did. Although, except for
Brandon
this.
Hansy McManus is gone.
He's gone.
We didn't know
You
shit.
knew it.
The king of the bump and grind.
I don't see nothing wrong.
With
Ew,
a
you're
little
gross.
bump and grind.
Stop being a dick. Stop being gross. Just stop
I
being
got
a
that
weird
T-shirt sent
dick.
to me today, though. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Here's what I want, and I know we signed a guy. We signed.
On the dot. In my drop top.
We signed somebody.
Yes, I know what his name is. I got it right here. I wrote it down.
Ali Miraz or something. Kazad.
Ken.
Kneel before Kazad. What is it? I have no idea, but I feel like it's like a Muhammad or something.
I have
Abdul.
I want you to know what I wrote down. Kicker segment. McManus is a /Hansy #grabby.
Hashtag
In case I
grabby.
forgot, he
Captain
just got
Grabby.
fired.
Yep.
From my favorite team. But I wrote this gentleman's name down. Come on.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Well, there we go. Ramiz Ahmed.
Ramiz Ahmed.
Ramiz Ahmed.
Okay,
Ramiz
so
Ahmed.
I mean, obviously, not a
Welcome.
a
Thank-
household
and thank
name.
you for being here. And
All
plenty more competition for your job is coming.
I want them to hire 9 more guys between now and
So it's going to happen.
next Tuesday. at
UFL,
least.
June 16th, I believe. Some of these guys are freed up
Yep.
from their UFL
Watch the
responsibilities.
DC Defenders this weekend.
Yes,
Watch-
yes.
Back the truck up.
Yep.
I want them. Oh yeah, there it is for me. As I'm Ken Harris said. The back the truck up. We got tons of money. Let's make this the most fun kicker competition we've ever seen our whole life.
Just kick and
Let's do a bracket.
and keep your hands to yourself.
Bracket.
Freaking bracket.
That's what I'm saying.
Eight
Kick and
man
keep your hands to yourself.
bracket.
Like,
Four is not enough.
We should have like there should be a facility where we're just having the kicker competition.
And we get one guy that we all know who's a great kicker.
Yeah.
A guy that we grew up with who was a great kicker. That's
Yes.
2 of the slots. And
Everyone
then the
gets-
6 best. You have to have a dream guy, you know?
And it's
good for the fans.
Invincible,
Yes.
like a bartender type situation.
Well, thank you. That'd be great.
Vince
I'm a
Papale.
Papale, yeah. Absolutely. Just not a guy from Philly would be preferable.
Everyone should get in. So
One guy in between 30 and 35. There has to be one. That's my only.
30 and 35 years old.
Yes.
And ties to the DMV.
Only one guy.
And doesn't have any NFL ties. Just
Tied
ties.
to the
Local.
DMV.
Has to be a Skins fan.
Yes.
Roy Shannon. Oh no, he's too old.
I said 35, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, Roy. You're not
Roy
30.
Old
You're-
Ball Shannon.
Yeah, your balls are way
Why
too
would
old.
you-
No. They just looked old when he was young. That's where he got the nickname. You're
Old
screwing it
Ball.
all up.
Sorry.
He was Old Ball Shannon in 91, sir.
Damn it, Roy. And your gray and pubic hair.
I know. Why did he have gray pubes?
It's so
14?
weird.
Stranger.
His balls were very stretched out, T.
He said he sat in
I
bleach.
can't have this
disagree.
conversation. I didn't have the privilege.
Of
Yeah. I'm sorry.
shaving
I don't know,
Roy's
Roy.
balls.
Maybe
Kevin
Roy-
shaved some balls.
Maybe Roy
I don't
didn't
know.
like me as much.
By the way, that was a great, that was Kevin, like almost like a jerk. He was like a 60 Minutes. He was like, as you're saying, I never had the privilege, and we're in our mind. And he's like, you don't say. So you've never seen Roy
Apparently,
Shannon's
you guys are a lot closer
balls.
to Roy than me. So
No, there was no shaving of Roy's. Oh yeah, well, I mean,
Like a Nair situation, obviously, but
well, I mean, at every party at the Tears house, everyone got their pants pulled down at some point or
Yeah,
another in
there's
front of all the
memories.
pretty girls. Yeah,
Hazy.
it was a really fun thing to do.
hazy.
Yeah, doesn't exist anymore.
best.
I can assure you.
no, because there's everybody. I mean,
How do you think Vince Papale got it?
it was worth when
Try
it
out.
was worse when old Uncle Vince Papale had the little projector camera and he was walking around the party in 1981, and you're like,
Hey, you guys put that away. That's the wrong film. Put the other one in. Shut up.
and he's showing that movie right now. The good thing is they're never going to convert it. If you ever want to see that movie, you're going to have to get like the sound. It's going to be like the projector sound effect. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right, so we're done the kicker segment. How
Thank
about this?
God.
All right,
Thank
so
God.
the question though was because you talked. There's two things, and I'll let the board think about this. We'll talk about Cliff Kingsbury, and in the meantime, what we're going to circle back on is what current Washington player is the missing piece for the most teams in the league. The most teams in the league. And now you can
go first though. Just go first.
can
So
interpret
get-
that-
I know.
It's
you can
fine.
interpret that any way you want. But the one
get
guy
it.
on
I
our
just love how he
team,
gets so excited about stuff like this.
but someone might have some really good thoughts.
So
on
he's
it.
really excited. So he's A. I'm C plus, and you're D
like-
minus.
You're like a
B minus C plus.
All right, B
Eh.
minus. That's like you're in the B
You have
range.
different ideas of
I
what's
was like,
fun.
what the shit? No, but I didn't say how fun it was, but it's fun. It can definitely turn into fun.
Okay. Yeah.
I
right.
have a good attitude about it.
That's all I'm asking for. A good. That's how we got to 5.7K subscribers. Just so you guys
Boom!
understand.
Killing it.
Didn't mean to humble brag there, but
Look, we just don't have to.
we've got 5.27K. Cliff Kingsbury. I call him the ninja because I struggle to imagine, even though we have a defensive minded head coach, which I love, a CEO who also happens to be capable of doing the CEO level job as well because he's done it. He's been around a long time.
Exactly.
He can do all that shit. And
Well, I don't know if he's been around a long time, but in NFL years, he's been around a long
in
time.
the NFL years, he's been around a long
Especially
time.
in this new recent one.
he can impart both philosophy and management to his coordinators and coaching staff, all of which we've already said some names. And so Cliff Kingsbury comes in. Now, clearly, when you have a defensive-minded head coach and Dan Quinn, the offensive coordinator is going to have is a big hire, and it's going to have a lot of freedom, probably a decent amount of independence in terms of philosophy and which way they want to go. And he was brought in before the personnel decisions were made, right? So then now we signed free agents and we drafted people according to Cliff Kingsbury's presence here as our offensive coordinator. And it's a story that has not been covered enough, and for good reason. We're going to get excited about being the number 2 pick in the draft, and it's a big production, and we're going to be excited about having the most money to spend. That's a big deal.
There's 10 more things you can say.
There's 10 more things you can say. Cliff Kingsbury coming here to be our offensive coordinator is one of the most exciting developments.
You're GD right.
In our last recent experience here, and we talked about the worst side of it, the worst side of the coin, which is partially why I asked the question. And we're done with the worst side of the coin. We're done with that era of the worst offensive-minded, coaches. Cliff Kingsbury brings a philosophy and a religion on offense that it's exciting, and if you commit to it, which we seem to be starting to do,
It's crazy.
It's fun. It's fun, and it can be super productive. I mean,
There's so much that's exciting about it. I'm freaking out. And
It can be fun.
and also
It can also be.
well, so he
Very
started
frustrating.
he ran the air raid offense as a quarterback in Texas in high school,
Yes.
and his father was a coach on staff. But what do you think his father coached?
his father, offensive line.
The D coordinator.
Oh, he was a D coordinator.
And,
Okay.
and he ran the air raid offense, and his best friend's father, who was a defensive guy, was the offensive coordinator. And before he even saw Mike Leach at Texas Tech, he ran the version of this. And the neat thing about him and what you just said, and I want to touch on specifically, is what you said, defensive-minded head coach. But who he gives all his credit to is up the street. And we'll talk later about my trip today to the University of Maryland. Put a pin in it. But Kevin Sumlin's found his way up to the street up here. Kevin Sumlin is an assistant coach at Maryland right now. He gives entire credit to when he was at Texas A&M. Kevin Sumlin was the head coach. All the pressure in the world in the Manziel year. He was there for 1 year with him. All the pressure in the world on top of him. Losing his marbles, and Sumlin comes in and says, the offense is yours. I will never once say to you, run the ball X amount of times, do this, do that. He said, I learned a totally different perspective of the game because of this. And that's a long, long time ago, but I know it's something that's embedded in his head. He mentions it in a shit ton of interviews. And I love that Kevin Sumlin did that for a young upcomer. There's 5 nicknames he's gotten. And Ken, you're going to laugh your balls off, but 5 different professional coaches or players have called him these 5 nicknames.
Cliff Kingsbury?
Yeah.
Okay.
You call him what?
I call him a ninja.
Ninja. The beautiful mind, the mad genius, the mad scientist. That was Patrick Peterson, who I have tons of respect for. So I had to
He
drop
was the
that
best
one
player
on
in
there.
that draft.
Oh Lord,
In his rookie class, he was the best player.
the Wizard, and Rain Man. And I'm just saying,
Well, Patrick Peterson was at
I
LSU,
love
right?
The last one.
this is good stuff.
Rain Man. It is good.
This is good
It's
stuff.
very good stuff.
And because he at Texas Tech, he was the first guy to
That would
show up
explain a
4
lot.
a.m. The dude's a work hard, play hard type cat, and I love that as a football guy. If you want to just be a football guy, unless you're Bill Belichick, you're a terrible person, you have a horrible family situation, and you are a disturbed human being. I love the guys that see that there's another side to this football thing, the 180. Of course, football is a beautiful thing, and we all adore it, and we've done it for 10 years here talking shit to each other, but let's be honest. A majority of the week, we're not here on Tuesday having fun talking about our team. And I think that's what I love about Cliff Kingsbury. You get fired at Arizona, and you put up a do not disturb sign from every NFL owner, college, anywhere, and said, in Thailand.
I mean,
Be back later.
it was the freaking greatest ever.
Ken, I want to hear what you got to say about this guy, because I know that you kind of been driving the bus on old KK Barry, and I'm a big fan that he's here. I really am.
You can't do you bring in Dan Quinn. You've had Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera, and we have defensive personnel. We have good players on defense. We have the defensive line, and the center of our defense is great. And they signed some good free agents. But I get like having a defensive emphasis, but you have to score points. In the right, certainly to make the playoffs. You have to be, you can't be at a negative point differential. You've got to be getting 23 to 27 points, a week. And it doesn't sound like a big number, but
you got to get over 24. It's always been 24.
So when Joe Gibbs was the coach, for example, I mean, you could win 17 to 13, 17 to 10. I understand, like there are coaches who are like what's his face, Arthur, Smith from Atlanta. There's a head coaching mantra.
Ron Rivera.
Oh yeah, Ron Rivera. I mean, but Joe Gibbs, people who didn't mind playing a game down to the wire. People, coaches who like, you know what, I can win a 17-14 game or a 21-17 game. But
let them make the mistake against my defense.
That's right. That's that, and it will get you to 9-8, 8-9, 10-7, or 7-10, a ton of years. But in order to be special in the league, you have to be able to play offensive football at a high level. People got to be on the same page. It has to be a program. Like you can't we haven't been a program for a long time. We've been a team. We've had a team every year, but we haven't had a program. I think Cliff Kingsbury brings an offense that could easily become like a program for us.
You're damn right, and I'm sorry I left the one stat out that I wanted to say to you guys. Sorry, T, I know you got tons of shit to say, but why? Before I say this to you, I want you guys to know the one thing, and I know Greg just brought it up. I saw this today. I can't believe I didn't lead with it because it floored me, and I thought it would floor you guys. I meant to say it outside when I got here, and we all read the same dumbass articles, and the most recent one, John Keim, who I think is
he's a guy.
A+. Mm-hmm. No huddle offense in the NFL in the last 4 years. In the 4 years that Cliff Kingsbury was the head coach calling plays for Arizona, here's how many no huddle snaps he had in those 4 years: 1,491. I've equated that to around 23 a game of no huddle snaps in the NFL. In those 4 years, second was 865. Around 13 no huddle snaps a game.
Yeah.
He is 9 snaps more in a 17-game season than second place. Do you know what we did in that exact same time frame? 328 downs. We went no huddle. That's less than 5 times per game. That's meaning you're down by 40. Let's stop huddling up in the fourth quarter, dicks.
Or 2-minute
How many
drill.
times have we yelled that at the TV? Like, you're down by 30. What are we doing? And Rivera's like so calm and stoic. And you're like, we're losing by 400. Can we get onto can we line up? You know, there's a clock for this sport, but real quick, 49 times. And to me, I don't know what that means for us this year, but wow, is this shit going to be more tempo than we have ever seen in our lives as fans. Maybe that could be said by any franchise, but we've never gone tempo like I think we're about to go. Can we go that tempo as a defensive-minded head coach? And our defense is the... Just saying.
It is.
That is something to be discussed. Greg Martin, thank you for reminding me. That was the number one point I wanted to make. Wow. Those numbers jump at you, man.
Yeah.
23 times a game versus second at 13 versus us at...
Volume, more chances.
Let's go. And I get it.
More chances.
Especially with a guy who plays 2 tight ends as much as anyone in the league.
Yeah. I'm not an expert on this offense. I love it because it's fun. You got to have the right personnel for it. I don't know if we have.
I think you just nailed it. I don't either.
And if you don't have the right personnel for it, at least here, you got to adjust, right?
Yep.
You can't just have a philosophy and say do it this way, or else you're not just going to be good. I mean, you got to do things the person's good at. So,
Can I say this? What he learned from Bill Belichick? He was behind Brady. That way they drafted him. Belichick loved him, and he said what he took from Bill Belichick. He was like the ability to adapt to his personnel year in, year out. Whoever was signed or drafted, find a way to utilize and maximize exactly what they do well. That's what that guy did, and that's what I took from him.
Yes.
Much less 300 other things, but that was number one, and that makes me so freaking happy.
It makes sense because. Yes.
In this day and age, it has to, right?
What I love about it, and I learned this under Loxley when he came back, is, and he kind of got it from Friesian too, it's multiple. You're not just one thing. You're not air raid. You're not power I. You're not a wing T. You don't know what I am. I can do anything. And that's what is really exciting about it, and that's really where football's going.
No doubt. And that's why Marcus Mariota said this. It would be unfair to label this as the air raid. It'd be unfair to label this as anything. I've been around a little bit. This is,
you don't want to.
Well, I don't know what it is. We'll see.
Because if it is one thing, well, then guess what? The defense you're about to meet every week is going to know what your principles are. You don't want them to know.
No chance.
You have to be. We have a lot
more believable options as well now because you bring in Austin Eckler, for example. Jahan Dotson is by no means forgotten anything. He's a great wide receiver.
He's got special talent.
And you bring in a tight end. 2 tight ends, Zach Ertz and Ben Sinnott. I think we're just slightly more believable in terms of being multiple. As of
I don't think it's slightly. I think it's going to be demonstrative.
It's
for
next.
For us, for
Yeah.
the fans.
Yeah.
Forget about predicting how what we're going to see is going to be so much more exciting than what we've witnessed, for better or for worse. But here's where we're going: to a real place, a real
home.
There's no place like home.
And
Joe Gibbs, appear.
And it's not like we're the only ones. So I know we're not the only ones talking about Cliff Kingsbury, but I do think it's a very if I'm gonna get overly excited about something for almost no good reason, that's gonna be one of the top categories for me, one of the top choices. I think Cliff Kingsbury as an offensive coordinator coming here is beyond cool. I think it's meaningful. It's gonna be fun. Like, it matters. It's not an empty suit hire. There's levels to the onion, as Donkey would say. You know what I mean?
It's specifically not that, and that's what I'm excited about. Like I said earlier, the NFL, he bounced around the NFL Europe, the CFL. He's been at college level. He's been a coach's son for his entire life. And then you guys know when they say all these things, and Zach Ertz is the one guy that said it. His first 2 years in the league, they were 30th and 30th throwing the ball to tight ends. He's a guy that says, okay, let me step back. Let me do that. 12th and 10th the last 2 years. He has figured out that the hash marks and down the field and the width of the field, the horizontal and vertical passing game was there, but between the hash marks, nothing. He studied it. He figured it out. He rectified it. He went and got Zach Ertz, and they changed shit.
Yep, and Zach Ertz was
so he's
a
guy that's not stuck in his ways. He's got that Belichick. And in this day and age, when all the change, like, we have more change this year than anyone. This is cool for Kingsbury. He's like, that's okay. I'm implementing my system from day one. I'm not bringing. He said it's not year 5 in Arizona. This is year 1 in Washington, and I respect and appreciate the shit out of that. And with the amount of guys he's coached, I mean, you're talking about, he's had Manziel and he's had the little quarterback. He's had everybody. He's had Case Keenum up there just making himself a stud. I really respect his background, how he surrounds himself with greatness. He's not fazed by the studs in that locker room. He's been at the top of his game. This is stuff that we should be super excited about, correct? Like
100%. And Greg was picking up on something we were talking about before, but I thought I'd put it to you guys because he's talking about.
You're gonna have to read that one to me.
Daniels aside, the defense has me more curious, says Greg Martin.
Say it again. Daniels aside, the defense has to be more curious.
Has him more curious.
Got it.
How was it great one season and horrible the next with mostly the same players and coaches? And doesn't that mean coaching will auto improve the D a lot? So again, not going to get overly optimistic, or not going to get. I am super optimistic. I am overly optimistic, but I'm not going to get out of. I'm not going to get. I'm not going to lose myself in that, because that is an easy narrative to get. I think we have good players and I think we have good coaches, but I'm not going to. They got to show us.
But Greg, we talked about this when it was happening. We didn't know, and I think in hindsight, we look back. A lot of it was the coaching and the scheme, right? I mean,
why did we always feel like we were behind, like the other guys, the other staffs? Like, why did I always feel like we were playing and it was 1980 and it was 2000? Like, we have never really risen up to the chat. Like, we're the lowest in fast-paced offense and no huddle plays. Like, and by the way, we've been losing a lot. Like, but I get it. Let's let this game drown. Let's only lose by 11.
On the defensive side,
we don't want to lose by 40. I got to keep my job.
No offense to Chase, he's my boy. He went to DeMath and all, but there was talk about. I remember when he was out, we were playing better. Guys were playing, I guess, more disciplined. Maybe. I
think you're right.
I don't know. There was all
because
kinds
Chase was
of
trying
things.
to play 4 positions at once.
There was all kinds
because he's
of
a
things
competitive
happening.
lunatic with unbelievable athleticism. He's like, I'll do this. Right.
My point is that still comes down to coaching.
And I agree.
Though, in a way, and
couldn't agree more.
You couldn't get the guys that you needed to do it the right way, or you weren't doing the right thing, and that's why they're not here.
And this guy's a film junkie. He ain't a Spurrier. So yeah, hell yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah, I do. I specifically agree with that. I do. Let's wipe the slate clean.
Yep.
And it's hard to do that emotionally. The scars exist.
It is hard, but it's super easy in terms of there's like a clear line of delineation. This is the year 1 AD. We're in the first year or something. Like there's just no. It's kind of like it's like living through like a natural disaster or a catastrophe of some kind, and you're on the backside looking in, and maybe they've fixed up your
It
house
was
again.
a local disaster.
It was a local
Yes, it
disaster,
was.
and you're just like you're thinking to yourself, man, like holy crap,
Yeah,
like
it's not like looking at one. We
it is one, and now we're
watched
like holy man, like it's like the interviews you see after a hurricane when they interview people, they're like I had no idea.
We saw the villain flee on a boat.
It happened, and so
Thank God it wasn't a paddle boat. He never reached the pedals, you little
he couldn't
fat
reach
shit.
the pedals. He was like, yeah, short
You
round.
dumpy little nerd. Fuck.
Where is he?
Jesus.
Where is he?
He's bobbing for apples somewhere in Europe.
Where is he?
That was
Where's
the rumor
Dan
I got.
Snyder?
I think he'll be at Oktoberfest. I was told as a dick-a-lantern. I don't even know if that's. I'm just telling you. These are the
Donated
rumors.
his house to the American Cancer Society, and all I'm thinking is, I hope good comes out of that. But somehow
he milked it. He milked the whole fucking
somehow
place. Didn't
he
milked it.
He made it out like a bandit.
Remember, he pours milk under
Yeah,
everything
he
right
does.
before he leaves.
He does.
What a terrible piece of ass.
It's unbelievable. So you just can't. It's like between like long-term hardcore relationships. You know what I mean? Like the generation before us, they had Jack Ken Cook, Bobby Beathard, Joe Gibbs, which is what we had when we were kids. But that was their thing. The unfortunate part is that they, we're coming into our prime as football fans. Really, the best football fan years of our lives. Really, the next
Just like
40
my
or 50
pilots,
years.
I like my real football fans gray.
Yes. And so we made it through 20 years. Like when we were in it, that's like the eye of the storm. We were in it, and no one knew if it was going to end or when it was going to end. But the reality is it ended. And so now we're just kind of regrouping still, I feel like, emotionally, and just, kind of getting back.
No, we regroup emotionally here every week, and it gets us through.
Yeah.
We have actually thrived underneath this terrible era
Of course.
because of this basement, and I can say that, and because of the people
We've
that
had a
we're talking
taste.
to right now, and you're damn right we have.
We've had a taste.
That's a fact.
I feel bad
fact,
for the ones
fact.
that haven't. Hang in there. It'll come.
Yeah.
I
On the way.
I know
Competence.
every change we get excited and everything, but this one does feel different. This one feels
Wholesale.
yes,
This feels.
clean.
It feels like I know there's a couple people still around, and people, but
We need to get rid of those.
most everything we wanted gone, including the number. Listen, 99.9% of everything is out.
Yeah.
We just talked about him bobbing for apples
Gone.
in the Red Sea.
It makes it more fun. It works.
It's very. The saline there is tremendous for him.
So yeah. So you know what? May and June are typically every year the NFL exists, they figure out a way to get deeper and deeper and deeper into areas that they're not, that's not theirs. Like May and June specifically, it's not a big football month, except it is, and it's only going to become more and more football month as time goes by. These months actually like truly matter. Like now you have like a full summer, a spring and summer with the new culture. You know what I mean? Like we did not have that last year. So think about the things that are new and fresh. Like obviously we had a whole regular season without Dan Snyder and his regime. But keep in mind, like the league's year started. The players came in. They were brought in by that regime. They were cultured by that regime. They existed in that regime. And that's not to cast any aspersions on Ron Rivera specifically. But again, all that's gone. And so this is our first like real, family reunion of none of the bad side of the family's there. You know what I mean? It's just the good side of the family. And we'll see what happens. I thought like negative things. Like when you turn on Sunday and you're watching a team and Redskins are getting 16 and a half points today. Sweet. This is going to be an awesome Sunday. I look forward to this game. Awesome. This is going to be a fun day.
Do you think we can cover?
Yeah, maybe we can cover it today, guys.
Oh my God,
it's going
let's
to be
have a
awesome.
party.
And then I yell at the TV because I feel like we're getting jabbed by the refs, and this is going against us, and that's going against us. I mean, I think some of that. Starts to wash off first. Like before we become like a Super Bowl team, I think we become like a competent professional team where like the X's and O's are in place enough to get to 9-8, 10-7 for a couple years before becoming a contender.
Can it be effing fun?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it's
We just
supposed
need
to be.
That would be fun.
Of course,
That's what it's
would
supposed to be.
And listen, like we all know, people win, people lose.
Yeah.
Let's have a higher percentage. Like the people that we stink, we didn't win today. Like if you want to, let's just have the highest percentage.
Yep.
Year by year that we haven't had in forever.
It all starts here.
Let's just go forward and then see what happens. And I think that's exactly what we're doing.
Didn't we even just like stop predicting games at one point?
Well,
season,
we stopped. No.
Because it got
We stopped breaking down the stats.
It got depressing.
We stopped the stats.
We don't want that anymore.
depressing.
We don't want it anymore. I think we're heading in another direction. It's
The
never
stat
gonna be
breakdown of
depressing.
a 4-win team is just it's like it's punching. It's a dick
Time to
punch
change.
every Monday night.
Yeah.
When Tom Brady went
Tuesday
no
night.
huddle against us, we lost 50-9. It could have been 700-0 because our defensive line could not move. What I'm telling you is this. I haven't seen it so well with Cliff. I will see, but I know as an offensive coordinator at the high school level, I went no huddle because we had to, because we had a bunch of little guys that could run, and we didn't have everyone. In the games we won, the other team was twice our size, but they were exhausted. You only have 3 timeouts a half. I get this. In this level, this works also at a different grinding pace.
Yeah.
Maybe one you might not notice till midseason. Maybe one that starts to take over late in games when the guys that are young start playing like vets. Let's not put the horse in front of the cart for anything to do with this freaking franchise right now. Besides, let's embrace everything we get, because here's who's gone. The biggest piece of shit in the history of this franchise has left.
Also, not to mention that
There's another owner but there's a different era. But here's the deal. He's gone.
He's gone. The team, I think the good news for us, of course, it's because it's different. You know, you sign a new head coach and a new coaching staff, and they get like a leash, year or 2 leash. You bring in a rookie quarterback that adds like another year to leash. So you go through that whole thing. But then you add on the thing where we have a brand new owner. Add on to the fact that it's not just our team was for sale; it's that we literally exercised like the meanest demon in recent football ownership lore. And now we're on the backside of that. So you put all that together and you think to yourself, whatever happens in September for this team from a scheduling perspective, I'm not going to put the schedule up because I don't want to make this about individual matchups. My point is, I think barring, a rash of injuries, this team has a chance to be, competent in September and proficient and and executing in November. That's the beauty of it.
After my 10 years in this basement, I've come to this conclusion for this prediction. I'm going to say it out loud. Winning record at home in 9 games this year. I'm not saying we're going to have a winning record across the board. I'm saying
5 and 4 or
prediction.
Better. I'm with you.
My prediction is that we have a winning record at home this year with a defensive-minded head coach, a whole new attitude.
That gives us
a nice schedule at
more
home.
of the games than we're predicted to win.
No. We're 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
Well, I saw 6.5 for the last week or two.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone can have a half game little thingy, but yeah. There's only 3 teams beneath us, and I don't agree with that this year, only because of the marginal.
Because there's so few games.
I try to say marginalinity.
Marginalinity.
I don't even know if it was an A or an I or if I needed to go.
Tried.
I know. I think I just got I got a UTI right when I tried it though. It's all right. It'll be fine. It'll be fine by the weekend, I hope.
What do you guys? Oh, here. How about this? NFC East ranked by quarterback situation. Interpret that how you will. You can interpret that in a lot of different ways.
I did.
But the quarterback situation
I've seen it.
in the NFC East. Is there a consensus number 1 quarterback situation in the NFC East?
I believe so.
I think
number 1 for what?
Who's the number 1 quarterback in the NFC East?
I think it's Jalen Hurts.
I do too, and not because Dak was fantastic last year, but Jalen
100% Jalen Hurts.
Jalen was injured last year. It was spectacular. Like Jalen Hurts he's kind of a dude.
He's kind of a dude.
Yeah, he's kind of a great human being if you take football out of the equation. So once you have a guy like that as your leader, now your franchise, even though it's located within Pennsylvania and even worse in the Philadelphia city limits, you still have class.
He's just so calm and cool about it all.
Yep.
He's class personified.
He shocked me.
Me too. Shocked. But when you're class personified,
Yep.
you've carried yourself that whole way. If you really think about it, you're like, that guy's going to succeed anywhere. In anything, right. But in anything, I never thought.
Great example
I
of
never
that.
thought he would do this.
Great example. of it.
Oh,
Interestingly, their backup this year,
I know.
Kenny Pickett.
I know.
From the Pittsburgh
They traded
Steelers.
for him. The guy
Yeah.
It was a weird carousel there with all.
It's
the,
a weird carousel. So that's the other. That's the tiebreaker or whatever. Because you're talking about quarterback situations.
Forget about Will Greer
I
coming
mean,
up in the
Cooper
rear.
Rush is still backing up Dak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but do you know who the third string quarterback is on that?
Trey
squad?
Lance.
Trey.
Actually, I think you could easily see Cooper Rush.
There's two backups.
transitioning to the coaching staff. I mean, that's what guys like that do, right? I mean, at some point in time,
Well, Cowboys backup quarterbacks tend to do that.
yeah. And so
Kellen Moore out there in Cali.
at the age,
I know.
they're all of a sudden
No,
they're
he
30
played
years
2
old.
years. He was like, I know I'm a great coach now. Hey guys, thanks for letting me play, but I'm just going to go over here now. No, but that's cool.
And he's doing it with Mike McCarthy.
That's
now.
cool stuff. That's a cool story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Cliff Kingsbury thought he was going big time. So did Bill Belichick. It didn't take long for everyone to figure out that was a terrible pick, Bill Belichick.
yeah.
Sorry, but he didn't
Yeah.
last in the league for a second.
No. And I know
Good
Daniel
for us.
Jones
It was a good
does
thing
well
for us.
against us, typically speaking.
The only team he does well
Yeah,
against.
but he doesn't do well against anybody else. They did not go with the rookie this year. His chief, they did go with a rookie this year,
And
they have a veteran.
Drew Lock.
How
How do you feel about Drew Lock these days?
I don't think he's better than Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones.
No,
if
not
Daniel
at
Jones
all.
is healthy,
No.
he's going to run for 85 yards, throw for
He
200.
does things
and,
better than Daniel
Yeah.
Jones.
I know, but Tommy DeVito does also. And Tommy DeVito does stuff better than Drew
true?
Lock. Yeah.
Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito. Why not?
Well, but that's also that's just the shittiness of the Giants. I put them fourth in the NFC East. I love,
I can't.
If we
argue
split with
that.
them this year, I'm gonna poop in my
Yes.
pants.
Yeah.
E.O. Anderson.
and we
style.
got them twice
Poo.
before anyone else in the
Poo in your
division.
pants.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Poo
poo.
in your pants.
All right. I was just being more like I almost did it right now.
I see.
Because I was getting angry.
Yes,
right.
yes,
right.
yes.
Present tense
Okay.
while trying to reference past.
Daniel Jones is never healthy, but he's. I think that Jaden Daniels, who will be our starting quarterback, backed up by Marcus Mariota, who is not a difference maker at all in the math here.
I beg to differ. His math has a number 0 in it, which makes if he multiplies anything with anyone, it's still a 0. Just keeping that in mind.
Wait a second, that's not true.
What?
What?
Damn it.
I don't want to do math. What?
I know, but I
Yeah.
thought if anything was multiplied by 0, it'd be 0.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, God damn it.
Sorry,
I thought you had
sorry.
Yeah, I thought you took some class at Loyola in Baltimore at the same time I was taking a class at Catholic 40 minutes up the road while you were 15 minutes away at Maryland that we didn't figure out.
I wasn't sure if you were using the English or the metric system.
I use an
I'm sorry.
abacus in my trousers.
My bad.
You've known this for
My bad.
well,
It's
11
true.
years.
That I have seen.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're
I don't
now.
know, Roy.
Sorry, Roy.
Every time.
He's a one net sec guy here on my right.
Oh, Roy far outgrew the abacus. That was in middle school.
All right, so okay.
So where's that put Daniels?
Number 3?
Far low in the abacus.
You got to give Dak the respect of placing him above Jane Daniels. I don't have.
Dak had a good year last year.
He did.
I think he's a solid number 2.
He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere, right? I mean, he's going to be in the league for a while.
I agree.
Whether it's with Dallas or somebody
Because
else.
he's a great human being like Jalen Hurts, and hopefully Jay Daniels, who I believe is also that. But those two have proven they're great leaders of franchises.
Yeah.
At times when we didn't need the freaking Eagles and the Cowboys to have great leaders of franchises, because that's the only reason we've beaten their ass in recent years, because
It
they
would be
didn't
like-
have that, just like we didn't. But now we might.
We might have
might.
somebody, but I've been saying like the thing
Now
about like
we
having
might.
a Dak Prescott as your quarterback, and it's like there's a market for quarterbacks, and it just is what it is. And if you have a guy who's statistically speaking one of the best, certainly top 10 quarterbacks in the league, Dak certainly ranks higher than that in a number of categories. Like you have to pay the market value for that.
Of course.
Like you just have to. Like you can't be
Just
like we're starting
just like-
over.
Just like Justin Jefferson?
Just like Justin
catching that
Jefferson.
140?
Yeah. By the way, I know that's what's going to drive the salary cap more than anything else. Because most teams, most of the top half offenses in the league are going to have 2 wide receivers who are worth as much money as you can give them, and it's going to crush offensive. It's going to crush salary cap situations.
When you lose Kirk Cousins and you want that fan base to keep coming back, like they have for the last 4 years, you have to overpay a guy like Justin Jefferson and hope you can trade him in 2 years, midway through the 4-year deal, to a better team. Yeah, exactly. So that's the business. We've seen it. We know it. It's a farce. It's a joke. We've lived it, guys.
Obviously, I trade for that contract.
Lived it.
Right
we
now.
lived it first. All the guys that were done and all the D coordinators that were like, I watch tape 25 hours a day. I've seen him for 8 years at a certain level. He's now here.
Yep.
Those guys are so trusted.
Yep.
And everyone understands now. And they've done their freaking... Everyone understands there's certain levels that at certain ages that levels drop. That's all. That's all about the sport we love. It's fun to watch, but let's understand. Justin Jefferson for $140 million. He's great, but what the shit does that mean for them? That means they're going to stink for a while.
Just can't.
Well, we already stunk for a while. We're moving on up. We're coming in.
It means J.J. McCarthy is going to be forcing the ball at number 18 and whatever.
He's used to handing it off
the
a
thing
ton
is, Jordan Addison,
mauling people and then
Jordan
having
Addison's
people
a
wide
stud.
open. He'll be all right though. He's a worker.
If you have Jordan, I think that's a great wide receiver. Combo to put together.
Addison is
He's special.
Yeah, he has the juice.
Yep.
But
all right, so
with a rookie quarterback, that juice sometimes has already been squeezed.
I think JJ and Sam Darnold is the popular pick to be the starting quarterback for the Vikings this year. I think it's going to be JJ, and I actually think it's going to be good, but we'll find out together.
We will.
I'll start the bidding here. The Washington Commander, who would be the missing piece on the most teams possible in the league right now. I'm going to give respect where respect is due. I'm going to say if you're adding the 52nd or 53rd guy, I'm going Bobby Wagner. I'm just to give you guys a sense of how I interpreted the question.
I have 3 names. He's one of them.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Bobby Wagner is still capable of contributing. He's still a producer. He can still get on. He's still going to be your leader on the field. So forget about all the age and all that stuff.
I think he's the best contributor.
Yes.
As an active player, the rest.
What he gives you between the ears and
what he's
on the
teach
field,
these young bucks and the D.
I would say if you added him to every roster in the league, I think he would be the missing piece of the most teams. Bobby Wagner.
Can I since you have 3 on deck? Can I take one?
No, I already told you to go first.
Yeah, he's got 3.
So Terry McLaurin for the same reason we were just talking.
Is he one of your 3?
No,
he's not.
But he would no. But he would be. Of course, you can say Terry McLaurin every time. I just went weird because I was going to go 3rd, and I figured he'd be gone, so I didn't even consider him. But Bobby Wagner, Terry McLaurin,
because of what you were saying.
There's very few names left.
I mean, his professional approach, right? Receiver in particular. If you don't have 2, if you can add even a 3rd one like that, I mean, that's all you need.
Yep.
Imagine him on any of those teams that have been.
He's going to be if you're going to make him, if you're going to line up with your 2nd or 3rd corner, he'll win that battle.
Come on. So
I understood. By the way, I don't want to take steam here or thunder or smoke, but Greg Martin's throwing out a name that I gave a lot of consideration to in Sam Cosmi. The way that I interpreted this, but it's your pick. Is he on your list?
Absolutely on my secondary. Listen, Sam Cosmi, of course, but Jonathan Allen was my pick. Here's why. He's been through it all and seen it all on the worst end. He's also won everything at the other. I mean, and he grew up around here. So I just figured he'd be the difference maker because of what we could have gotten for him in a contract year moving forward. But you know what? The NFL is not a 4 or 5 year league anymore. It's a 2-3 year league. 3 might be stretching it. So let's keep that son of a bitch who's as good at his job as anybody. Pay him what that man has earned because someone's gonna. And he's from Stonebridge, and he went down to Alabama with Saban and figured it out, came back up, and
your boy Loxley. And your boy Loxley was down there for him, right? Wasn't Loxley there when Jonathan Allen was there? I found the spot.
I can't imagine
I got you.
that he wasn't, but I know this. I got to do that today. I mean,
Yeah.
is that all right? Are we allowed to go there real quick?
Let's do it.
Well, I mean, thank you guys for still chirping in and listening in, especially Greg. And Treshway is the last name on my list. So, and the other one I'm going to say was Jaden Daniels, but that wasn't the missing link. That was the future missing link, and that's what I had him in there for. But I have Treshway written down. I have Bobby Wagner. I have every name that we mentioned because it's not hard, and Cosme is a bad dude.
Ken Harrison Allen, too.
But what else? T. Strachan was a damn sideline reporter since he was, I can't even imagine. We're
22.
For Maryland, yep.
Yeah.
I'm down at one of the
Had
top,
no idea what it was
top
about.
facilities in the country right now. Today, listen, my job allows me to go do stuff like this, the way we get to all do this, and my job just started like 5 seconds ago. But it was so cool today to hang out with T's old head coach, Mr. McGregor, Deborah. Oh, you guys could have been better. I'm telling you. I'm just saying. Dino Campbell up on the joint. Our guy, your guy that got us all. Griff was in the joint all day long. I hung out with Greg Calhoun.
By the way, we have to
The
get
university.
Griff
Let
here.
me just explain this. The University of Maryland has a big time recruiting 2 weeks right now, and I've been down there trying to head up a high school all-star game. Aside from the point, I'm talking about the relationships I met today, and I walked into the head coach's office of the greatest facility, most recent gorgeous facility, what they've done down there.
The Terps, home of the Terrapins.
I'm jealous. I haven't seen it
is
for
what
myself.
Terpsville,
They call it Terpsville,
baby.
okay.
And the mayor, Presidente, and main dude is Coach Mike Loxley.
Locks down.
Now, I know I've met Coach Loxley, but he wouldn't know me from Adam. And I walked up, and all I know is this. I said, my man T. Strachan said to say what's up, and he misses you. And I can go now, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He said, straight up, tell Tim, fuck you. And I was like, whoa. He said, that man, I recruited his ass off when he was not in a wheelchair, and he was all Penn State. Penn State this, Penn State. So every day I was like,
Joke
fuck
pie.
you, man. Fuck you, man. Now you want me. Now you need us. I don't feel bad for you. He was going on and on. He was like, that's because that is my
That's
brother.
my boy.
I love him. I adore him.
Yeah.
He rolled. That man has a personality that couldn't be
It's
stopped.
amazing.
It's amazing.
How he
It helps
recruits.
them persevere, and get through some of these lean years without the support that you know is coming.
He relates to everybody.
You know it's coming. Ken Harris, by the way, has got to be going crazy now because he loves the Terps.
He absolutely was the coolest cat.
Yeah.
Now that's because you guys were coming up together. So,
Yes.
and I asked him, I said, "Can I share this tonight?" So I'm not stepping out of bounds here. And by the way, his personality is such. Listen, that's coach speak. That's between friends. That's between family, and that's what this conversation is. And that's what I told him. And he just. I didn't say much, by the way. He said a lot. He loves your ass. He's standing by you in this battle. We had a bit of a conversation.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, well, let's go then. I said, well, I know he knows how to go. I know you do, and I think everyone here does. He said,
That's
well,
right.
then we should be all right then, right?
Yes.
And I said, yeah, coach, you're damn right we should. It was beautiful. That man loves you. You guys spent a ton of time together. I wanted to tell you on the.
I don't
He
want to
said,
bug him. He's busy. He's called the president. Jeez, for crying
They
out
call
loud.
the press.
his words, has plenty of time for you, my
Oh,
brother. I'm just telling you. Hey, he was very proud about that. He stopped in his tracks, and you're right. There's an assistant leading him here. You have to do this here. It's like he is the president, and that's who said he was the president. And she's, oh man, Angela was spectacular. All I know is this. What a beautiful thing to get to go on campus at a Power 5 school,
very cool.
right down the street on the Beltway. Talk about my guy. I'm talking to Calhoun about this guy. I got Griff talking about all of us. Everyone's checking on us. Y'all good? Y'all chilling? I said, well, there's one guy that
gotta get
we
together
might
with
need
Griff.
to set a few, and
That's
Griff,
happening.
he grabbed me and was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yep, it's good," because he told his family, "Y'all didn't see me deal with this. You're about to."
Yeah.
And
All
I'm
good
telling
so
you,
far, man.
Brian Griff, I mean, if I was a shot put, he would have thrown me an Olympic record. What a
Love you, boys.
beautiful
Love you
local
guys all out
football
there.
family we have.
Yes.
Oh,
That's a great thing.
It is the absolute best. Hey, please tell Ken Coach Calhoun was so amazing. Bill McGregor, Dino Campbell, anything you guys need. This is what we got around here. And we love that you guys are now incorporated in this. Incorporated. I mean, what did we make EO tonight? Like 3.6 cents?
I hope so.
Let's keep pushing that right
hope
into the
so.
middle.
He's-
At some point, we're going all in.
No, I mean, and we're gonna do it again too, because for our outro music, we're gonna go. And I think it's important that we remind folks that our outro music, with the song's called "How Did I Get Here" by Dislocated Boner, and it's inspired when they made the song. It was very much inspired by the Beach Boys' "Barbara Ann," which you will hear in the closing minutes of the song. The way that they use the Beach Boys as an inspiration
Cue up
for
that
this
closing.
particular
Well,
song.
one of the
I got
greatest
it. I
bands
got
of
it.
all time.
Nice.
Yeah, I got it. We're good. We're good. We're gonna go out that way. But our going out topic, so we did. By the way, T, I'm gonna say
done?
that was a fun segment. You said you weren't sure that was gonna be fun, but I feel like it was pretty
It
fun.
had nothing to do with your question, but okay.
Kind of did. Which would be the missing piece? It's a missing piece question. We talked about the kicker. We talked about Cliff Kingsbury. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we covered. EO's
Nailed
back
it.
in. EO's back in. He's got the money bags.
Is there any way, is there any way you can do this one for
Hey.
3.5 cents? Like
We are literally.
I think that's 7 cents right there.
We are. When you put that addition on your house because of
I know, but-
this tonight, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
but so what?
pretty special.
Buy
love
that
it.
young lady next to you a drink once and say, that's for those nerds out in freaking Kensington who we've been chilling with because,
Rail liquor.
oh,
Rail liquor.
guys.
Not the top
It-
shelf stuff.
It's been so much fun, man. And so many people on the streets. I love the people that they check it out later, but
Yeah.
the live boys,
I put
they
the
have a
link.
special place in my heart.
I put the link on the comment board. We'll continue to promote it. I want everyone to understand that the Red Cord Universe is the host of the
Check it
First
out.
Amendment Sports channel. I saw a demonstration of our channel the other day. So we have you can go by sport. If you're just looking for some football, you're going to come across our stuff. Basketball, lacrosse, baseball, all of it. If you're looking for sports talk on podcasts, we're going to be in the podcast section. You can the link that I sent out to everybody it goes straight to First Amendment Sports, where you see all of our content. And then we're also listed as filmmakers because we make film. So
I do have
I've always
the script for our first short.
okay,
It's coming.
all right, hey, dude,
teaser.
that's the teaser of the
No,
century.
but like a spelled
a
TZR.
teaser.
TZR.
Oh yes,
Teaser.
Oh no.
Oh no! I know.
That is
That's
like that's
Father's Day special. Father's Day draft. Next week's Father's Day.
Is it?
It's
Yeah.
It's a pantsless week at my house for me.
Nice.
No. Wait. Hold
It
on.
is next Sunday's Father's Day.
Next Sunday's Father's Day. Correct. We do our Father's Day show before Father's Day.
Yes, we always have.
Always have, always will. Next week will be a Father's Day. We will have Father's
So it's
Day
2 weeks.
Well,
No,
our
it's
fan
Actually,
base
2
is
Sundays.
next week. Yeah, 2 Sundays.
Okay.
2 Sundays.
dude. Father,
Dude, by the way,
draft.
0.2 Bitcoin is worth a lot.
I know.
Just so we're
So's a father
a
draft.
father draft. Oh wow,
Never even heard of it.
that's crazy.
Let's just say Marvin Gaye's not getting invited, but
No,
I think it's the best idea of all time.
Marvin Gaye Sr.
Either of them.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. This is a
True.
father draft.
It's a father draft.
It's a father
Not
draft.
just because fathers are doing the drafting.
Oh my
Because we're
God.
just drafting
I
fathers.
just want it all to be known Mr. Belvedere was not an actual father on the show.
that we're aware of. No, and you know what? And it counts. Like he's
TV
not.
fathers?
But Bob Euchre was.
Any
fathers.
Let's get
Okay,
the
how about this?
Fathers?
Let's get the legalese discussed because
Screen fathers?
Okay.
What do
I
we
think
do?
it's screen
Movies,
fathers.
TVs?
Screen fathers.
Screen
which
fathers.
we've done.
Movies and TVs.
Sure.
No, but we haven't done screen fathers.
And we're doing screen fathers next week.
By greatest father on any screen.
We're gonna do 4 rounds. The Bill Cosby Award will go to somebody, according to Ken Harris. Ken Harris, we're not going to do that this year. We have done that in the past. It's the Pudding Pop Award. We call that, by the way. Just for the record, it's just the Pudding Pop Award. Everyone take it easy.
Told you we should have stopped.
That frozen sheen on it.
The
was hard to
Tylenol,
work through, but once you got there, they were one of the greatest desserts of all time.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tylenol PM center of a Bill Cosby Jello pudding pop?
Jesus, man. What is
By the
wrong
way,
with you?
You should ask Camilla.
ask Camilla. I just thought of that on the fly. I think that's going to age well, by the way. The Tylenol PM center of a Jello pudding pop from Bill Cosby. We'll get back to that. We'll edit that out in post. Obviously, that never happened. So we'll have a father draft next week.
The best part was you didn't hear this, but he was about to be Brandon McManus's holder.
Oh,
I read that on a weird website.
Yes.
I didn't say for us.
No.
I just said he was going to be Brandon McManus's holder.
Brandon McManus, by the way, he
Holder.
is got some serious bumping and grinding. to do.
Set hike.
So, best XFL, UFL, AFL, USFL, whoever's out there, any league, semi-pro, DC Divas, anyone that has a kicker needs to get in this contest.
Please. Strong-leggeds from all.
Indian wrestling
help us.
audition.
Oh,
You have to
my
Indian
Lord.
wrestle, Kevin. If you...
Mrs. D, can you please show up?
Yes.
Crushing
Just
it
saying.
out there. Tony Ricca, can you hold? That'd be amazing.
Until next Tuesday night, our Father's Day special. He's Tim Strachan.
Because I think we should have ended 15 minutes ago. I'm just going
15?
to say good night. Thank you.
You don't think
Hope
that.
to
You
see you
never
next week.
think that. You never actually really think that.
Oh, yeah.
He says it, but he doesn't leave
doesn't.
the premises for 45
I'm looking in right
to
into his
55
eyes.
minutes.
He's Kevin Ricca.
I'm so happy that was a fun show. I loved it. It's always fun doing this with these people.
All right, so Greg suggesting we have one round per category, and we come up with different categories for each round. I think that's genius. I'll circulate them to you guys for your thoughts.
Should
Movie
we do it
father.
earlier in
A
the week?
movie round, a TV round.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Father's Day
yes.
done proper.
We will get it
Sports
out to
round.
everyone. Yeah, we'll do it all.
Award cleaver round.
Yes. Yes.
Whatever that is.
Well, he was always a little hard on the beaver.
It was always just a little too hard to be.
Yeah. No, I mean
all
like,
the folks-
Well, I mean like bad dads, not beaver stuff. Sorry.
Whatever you do, just know there's no pressure on us for you to subscribe, to like, or to get the notifications. That
But
ends
if you
today.
don't,
That ends today. The year 2 AD will be a
Do
subscription
what you like.
requesting free year. I don't like. I don't know what it was. It was on a video I was watching the other day on YouTube, and the guy did the whole, and it was like that little animation and with like the click, and it was like, subscribe, notifications, and I'm like, yep, I'm never doing that anymore. I'm done with it. Everyone, it's too much.
Sounds too ASCII.
It's not.
we have to come up with a catchphase for it.
Too
Time
come up with
for a little
something,
bang bang.
but too
It's
needy.
time, like right before a
like us
football
if you
game.
like us.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. And also,
I don't care.
we're going over. You're going to see
No,
more
but
and
you
more of
can't
our
say
stuff.
like
on
French
you-
us if
on-
you want to French us.
I mean,
That's rude.
You know why?
You're gonna get French at Safeway
Ask
to you
me
100
first,
times.
I guess.
This is why the Red Coral guys have changed our minds on all this stuff. Also, because all that matters is if people watch us. I don't care if you like us, with a thumbs up or whatever. If you watch, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
But we're not bringing the hate.
Yeah, that's it. It's just positive Tuesday night. Thanks you, Ken Harris. Great job to you as well, sir. Appreciate the community. Appreciate the Tuesday positivity. We're coming back for our Father's Day special on June 12th.
Let's go.
Right?
I've never been so fired up.
Is it June
Sure.
12th? No,
Yeah.
it's not June 12th.
no.
June 11th.
No,
T.
yeah, sure.
For goodness sake, why did you
Yeah.
text me that?
Can someone please call 611?
All right, here we go. We're going to go on our outro. What's our outro? E.O. Anderson knows our outro very well. Inspired by the good folks at the Beach Boys. Until next week, we are still live. Don't worry. Hey, everybody, take
Everybody's
it easy.
waiting.
Bro, everyone's DJ has their shit
on.
unplugged,
They're,
not ours.
they're all disengaged.
Everyone
now.
thinks the shit's
No,
unplugged.
everybody.
Tell them it's plugged in.
Hold on, it's happening. He's get it. He's
No,
Oh my God,
everybody.
don't plug it in there.
Take it easy.
Jesus Christ, Ken.
Look at this. Watch this.
That looks like it
what are you
hurts.
doing?
I'm going for the Barbara Ann
Never
part.
seen how chunky your fingers are.
What town is this? Who's hot fuck? Stack it to the street.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Come on.
How did I get here? Can't
I knew you were gonna do it. I knew you were gonna get it.
We had such faith.
Here we go. Great Beach Boys. Last week we got so excited for this part.
It's the best. It's. I mean,
Just tickling the ivories all the way to the end.
I'm not gonna lie. It's on multiple playlists.
Do it all
Over again.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace.
Dislocated boner will live again. Just in a different location.